Hey, what's going on, guys? Kitsune TCG here, back with another video, and today I thought I would be looking at one of the many different builds I have been kind of testing out for Mannadium. This is going to be a more pure Mannadium build with a little bit of a hero and Scareclaw engine. I think that's definitely been one of the more popular engines. Been working on some other ones. I've seen like a little bit of like a Sprite variant running around that I've been testing out, and then I've kind of got a few others. The deck seems really fun. You can splash a lot of different engines in it. It's it just doesn't really have any restrictions, really whatsoever. So the deck really just kind of allows you the ability to do a lot of things. You can even play an adventure engine because a lot of times your normal summon does not matter at all. So just a lot of different options this deck has available to it. So I thought I'd just kind of show off what I think is probably going to be the most consistent build of the deck. Just a pure build with a lot of like hand traps for some more going second options if need be. But just thought I'd kind of quickly show off a test hand here, and then I'll kind of quickly go over the card by card. Alright, so the hand overall, honestly not too bad. We do have terraforming here. For this, obviously you're going to pretty much almost every time go terraforming for Calarium, just because you have a really easy way to get the Rakephobia. As far as what we want to start with, probably the best thing we want to start with here would be, if we had, Gamma, for sure always starting off with terraforming. We'll go ahead and start off with terraforming anyway, just because we have kind of mostly everything here that we need. For terraforming, we'll grab, like I said, the Calarium. Since we already have access to Visas and Rykart, we want to get access to Riemhart. So we'll go ahead and grab Calarium. We'll activate Calarium, and that will grab us a Mannadium monster. In this instance, we do want to grab the Riemhart because it definitely has one of the best effects, just being able to grab us any Mannadium card, usually going to be that Spell and Trap. From here, we can go ahead and use Prisma as our normal summon. You only play one of this, so typically you're wanting to draw a Hero Lives, but it's not the worst thing to draw into necessarily. From there, we can go ahead and just activate its effect, which will allow us to reveal the Vicious and to dump the Starfrost to hand. Now this also does change Prisma's name to Visas, so you can actually just go ahead and use it to link away into, Dylan Book's been bad today, into Lightheart. Now, when Lightheart is summoned, we do have the ability to grab the Rakephobia. Now, normally, this is how you're searching the Rykart, but we did draw into it, so we already have access to that there. But, getting to grab that is not a bad thing. No reason for us to really activate it as of yet, because the Calarium is going to have an effect that we would like to use with the Fearless. So at this point here, we do have the Lightheart, which is going to allow us to summon the Rykart. Now, you sometimes, are able to use its draw effect, just depending on your hand and things like that, but in this instance, we obviously need to get a monster with the 1500 and 2100 stat line, so the rest of our monsters can get turned on there. So, specialing them out, that is going to grab us the Scareclaw Spell Trap. Whenever Dueling Book decides it wants to. There it is. So yeah, we'll grab the Scareclaw Arrival. From there, we can actually just go ahead and summon the Fearless. Now, unfortunately, this was not necessarily a hand that does really well into Nibiru. There are some hands where you can pretty regularly make a Baron, by the 5th summon, which we could do actually, yeah, because this is what was 1, 2, 3, and we had to summon that out because we're going to get rid of that. So we were on 4. Yeah, 5th summon would be the Visas, so not really a really good way to play around it with this hand. You do have several hands that, can do that, but in this instance, we can actually just go ahead and go Riemhart, special, it's going to pop the Fearless. Now the Fearless is going to activate, so we can actually go, Chainlink 1 Ream Heart to add the Spell Trap. We can go Chainlink 2 Fearless to special one from Great your deck since it was destroyed. And then Calarium, we can actually just bring back the Fearless, so pretty nice way to chain block that in there. Plus, you get some extra board presence, so we'll grab that out any day. Okay, so we will special a Fearless, and then we will grab the Reframing to hand. So now from here, obviously, it's a bit of an issue if they do have Nibiru. It happens, but, overall, we do have some different options. So we can go... The best thing at this point would be go a Fearless and the Ream Heart. We can bring out the Coral Dragon. Now in this instance, we do want to bring out the Tuner one, just because we have the level 4 on board, so we're going to actually just be able to use it to go into Baron. So we can link those two away. For the Baron. And then Coral Dragon will let us draw a card. Drew into a Gamma. I mean, not the worst thing. I mean, you definitely, I guess, can end on Gamma in this board state, but we do have enough to end on Appaloosa, so we're probably going to prefer that over anything else. We can link these two away, and that is going to bring out the Cross Sheep. We do have everything we need in Grave to be able to bring out the Vicious, so we can banish a Visas, we can banish the Ream Heart, because we're going to need the Scareclaw for the Revival. So we can banish these two, bring out the Vicious, and then since we do bring it out in the Cross Sheep zone, that is going to allow us to bring back... I guess we can bring back the Red Heart anyway, so... Is there anything we would really want to do? Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a little bit of a follow-up for next turn, so we can actually just go ahead and use these 3 here to make a 3-material Appaloosa. It's not a bad board, you definitely end on a few things here, so we do get a Reframing. We have this for, I guess, a follow-up Visas next turn if we need it. Probably could actually go ahead and play it now, but I don't think that defense position effect is going to be too relevant, so probably let's keep it in hand. So follow up with a Rival with Visas, so several things that we're going to be able to do on next turn, but we have 2 Omni Negates, and then we have 3 Monster Negates, and then if they somehow manage to clear our board, we do have the Gamma in hand for some additional, kind of interaction there. So, I mean, overall, the deck is really good. I mean, this is definitely not the best board state that the deck can end on, but even in, that situation, you end on a really good board with, some pretty decent follow-up, and then, just obviously whatever you're top decking at that point, and, I mean, something like that just kind of lets you kind of just go ahead and finish out the game. So, really just depends on the hand, but the deck definitely looks like it's very close to being competitive. Obviously, the cards that come out in Dune are going to definitely take it to the next level. And then, once we have a ban list, anything can happen. But I definitely do think that this deck is going to get a lot stronger. So I am kind of excited to see how that plays out. We'll go ahead and quickly hop on over to the deck list. Alright, so just quickly kind of going over the list. It is a 42 card build currently. As you can see, I do have a lot of, kind of going second, like hand trap staples in here. I mean, what are we were playing currently 16, which may seem a little bit much. You could probably cut it down if you want, but I think that the deck is consistent enough that you can do that, and I think it is probably necessary currently for this deck, just because in order to really have a chance, you're going to need to see 1 or 2 of these, going first or second. The deck is good, but it is obviously not in the best place without a ban list. Probably post ban list, that does change, but for now, I think these are necessarily if you are going to try and, bring this deck to a competitive success at like a higher level. Overall, there are several things that, this deck definitely needs to play. I think right now the Prisma package is really good, just being able to use it as a normal summon or, bring off of a Hero's Live. It's going to draw out, some form of interaction from your opponent if they have it. And then, typically you have a pretty good hand that you're able to follow up if they do, interrupt Prisma. But it is going to definitely force something out if they have it. The Scareclaw engine, really easy to search, really easy to go into, and has a lot of plus side, just being able to grab extra bodies, give you an additional search, give you an additional draw. Really, I think, really plays well in this deck. You're maxing out on, most every Mannadium card currently. You're even playing essentially 5 copies of Calarium just because, there aren't a lot of monsters or a lot of, Mannadium cards currently, so it is, requiring you to play a little bit more of, maybe not necessarily the best ones like in Fearless, but once you get some more cards for this deck, these cards can kind of fade out, but overall, deck is really fun. Gamma is amazing in this deck. Really just gives you access to a lot of things, whether or not you end up using it for Omega or, just a free Baron. Definitely a really good card currently in the meta. Extra deck-wise, you definitely need 2 Vicious. I don't think you should cut it down to 1 or anything like that, but 3 is obviously also, ultimately unnecessary. It's just really great for some follow-up as well. Coral Dragon, Stardust Charge Warrior. Both going to be a synchro that draws you a card. Difference obviously is one's a tuner, one's not, so it just depends on what you need in the moment. Omega is going to obviously rip a card out of your opponent's hand. Going to do really good there. Savage Dragon, just another thing that you typically can end on for an additional Omni Negate. Excel Synchro, with this deck having, as many 2-star tuners as it does, it just, gets you into Baron quickly. Disbatter and Chaos Angel, these are a little bit more, matchup dependent for when you would want to end on them or bring them out. And so it just depends on, what deck you're playing, whether or not these would be good. I don't think that them being matchup dependent means that they should be cut, but, you're typically not ending on them necessarily. One of Baron, you could probably bring Qingying in here. Probably would maybe take out Phoenix for Qingying or for Lambda, since, we are playing Gamma. The one Lightheart, obviously this is here to search your Scareclaw stuff. The one Phoenix and then the Cross Sheep, obviously this one is important for your main combo. The Triheart, just being 3 effect monsters, I think is a pretty nice card to be able to go into. It just immediately deals with a card that your opponent controls, so I think that's pretty neat to just draw something out that if you need to. So I am liking playing the one of. Probably could be something that you could cut for something else, but overall, I do like it currently. And then finally, the one Appaloosa. Obviously, this is also something else that's a part of your main inboard. Just being able to have, 3, maybe 4 sometimes, depending on like the hand. Omni Negate or Monster Negates is going to be really good overall. And for the most part, it's going to be pretty hard for your opponent to play through. But, I mean, that's the deck, like I said, overall, I'm really enjoying it. Let me know down below what you think. There's so many ways to play this deck. You can play Scareclaw. I've been trying to test out Dinos. I'll definitely, release a video for that one. I think I have a, pretty nice build, but yeah, I mean, the strategy is really cool. It's really undefined currently, so I'm sure, over the next few weeks, someone will kind of figure out what the best build is. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where that goes, and just let me know down below what y'all think, and I will see y'all next time.